Hello and thank you for being with us on the road to Beijing, our special report show taking you up to the start of the Olympic Games on August 8th. The torch relay continues its route through China. It's further undiminished. This week the flame traveled through Yunnan province and next will burn bright in Guizhou at the southeastern tip of China. Meanwhile, back in Beijing, construction on the main stadiums is wrapping up. Workers have given their all to ensure venues are completed on time. Now, gardeners are moving in to do their part.
A brighter Beijing, that's the aim before the start of the Olympic Games. These people have travelled across the country to help make a greener Beijing. In 5 years, at least 60 parks and gardens have been created, much to the population's delight.
Beijing has changed a great deal. It's much better now. When we want to relax, we know where to go.
The capital is now surrounded by a green belt. Even ring roads and highways have gone floral. Over 500,000 trees and 30 million flowers are growing in giant greenhouses, all that with the help of new technology.
We've developed special products so that flowers will blossom for the Games in August.
At the Olympic Stadium, make room for a green carpet. Less than 2 months before the Olympics, China is keen on shaking off its reputation as the world's top carbon polluter.
We've still got a ways to go. Today they've come to sort out the electricity when we had already planted the grass. Now we've got to do it all over again.
A crackdown on pollution is expensive, especially when water is so scarce in Beijing and in neighbouring provinces. But for China, the Olympic Games are a priority, whatever the cost.
Modern technology lends nature a helping hand in the garden and in the pool. The simple bathing suit is a thing of the past. Swimmers, with an eye on a place on the podium, sport extremely sophisticated costumes these days, designed to ensure the fastest performance.
Bathing fashions have undoubtedly come a long way over the decades. And so have the designs for professional swimmers. For years, the trend was to cover as little skin as possible. Open backs for women and so-called banana hammocks for men. But a new era of advanced technology arrived with full-body suits at the Sydney 2000 Games.
You feel like a boat cutting through the water, like an ocean liner would, but more high-powered, like a speedboat.
3 years of development and testing with NASA technology has created a seamless second skin-type outfit. Plates of polyurethane form a water-resistant shell to minimize drag. The suit also squeezes the swimmer's body into a more streamlined position. But there's a limit to how far the technology can go.
If I was to put, say, a shark fin in the middle of the back of the bathing suit or something like that, they would say we'd gone too far. We have to remain within the limits of the rules and regulations.
The original design by British brand Speedo left its competitors racing to catch up to the hype of the new suit. Its actual effectiveness is yet to be verified independently, but swimmers around the world believe in its advantages.
When I
entered the water, I immediately noticed the buoyancy. I literally rose to the surface. While I swam, I could feel the suit tight against my legs and felt them rise up in the water. I was able to swim better using less effort to get the same results. So it seems like it's the suit that is helping. It's really much easier.
The design has also sparked debate. While the International Swimming Federation recognises the suit, their regulations stipulate against anything that improves one's buoyancy, a property this suit seems to provide. Purists argue that it obscures the swimmer's actual abilities.
I swim around 80 kilometers a week. Each time I swim 50 meters in around 25 seconds. It doesn't take long, but it's very intense. It takes a lot of effort, both physically and psychologically. It's still a very tough sport.
Advantageous or not, Speedo has a psychological edge over its competitors. This week, Japan turned around their decision, obliging athletes to wear outfits made by Japanese companies. Now they'll be sporting the British-made high-tech bathing suits, the same suit which Olympic champion Kosuke Kitajima set a world record in last weekend.
We've just seen records smashed left, right and center thanks to these incredible designs, but man does have his limits. Some scientists have said that there would be no records left to break by 2068. One of them is our guest this week. Geoffroy Berthelot is an engineer at the Biomedical Institute of Sports. Hello. How do you come to such a specific conclusion?
We led a study at the IRMS based on more than 3,000 world records. We see the changes over time.
Since the first Olympics,
that's right.
Exactly since
right until the present day.
96.
111 years of change in sport. And studying those records shows that we're reaching limits. Limits in terms of the frequency with which records are set. These are going to be less and less frequent changes in records, other than through technological factors. For example, in swimming, which reduces drag. And also, the established records are not as big as an offset with the preceding record.
2 seconds.
They will no longer be improved on by other than a fraction.
So, in 2068, that's the cutoff date, is it?
We worked on 147 events that are measurable, and we did establish that by 2068, we will no longer improve records by other than just a small fraction of the previous record. So this is a human limit, a physiological limit. It's a limit of the human species.
So won't we be bored after that, watching these events?
Well, the authorities have reacted. Perhaps they will react. Maybe there'll be new things. Maybe we'll authorize, technological changes. Maybe we'll change the rules, as was the case in javelin throwing. Maybe we'll change something.
Let's take an example. You say that that the 100 meters race would never be run in 9 seconds. The latest record a few weeks ago was 9.72, never below 9 seconds.
We will never go down to 9 seconds because the limits are physiological human limits.
It's a mechanical limit, is it?
They're mechanical. It's the speed at which a man can run with all of those constraints, and we can't go past 9 seconds. This has been quantified very specifically with the statistical models based on past and future, and we have very precise measures.
You're thinking of the progress in genetics. There will be a limit there, genetically, never to go beyond that record?
Insofar as new pharmaceuticals and nutritional supplements or environmental changes and medicine and so forth. This is something that we've observed since 1968. We had the introduction of steroids in 1980 and EPO in 1990. Now, despite those changes, we observe a leveling off of records.
Geoffroy Berthelot, thank you for being with us. Briefly, in other news, a tough blow for the Brits this week, and in particular the royal family. Equestrian star Zara Phillips, tipped by many to win gold in jumping competition, will not be going to Beijing. She has withdrawn from the Games following an injury to her mount during training. Phillips is perhaps known as the 2006 world champion, but more so as the granddaughter of the Queen. And that's the end of our show. Thank you for staying with us. We'll be back next week for the next leg of On the Road to Beijing on France 24.